Welcome to The Explainer. Look, today we're not just telling a scary story. We're actually building a survival guide. We're talking about a terrifyingly clever creature from Indian folklore that literally turns your own mind against you, the Chalawa. And if you ever find yourself on a lonely road late at night, well, this might just save your life.
And let's just start with the first and honestly the most important rule for survival. This is a direct warning from the stories themselves. You have to remember this because everything that's about to happen, it all comes down to one simple fact. This thing preys on the exhausted.
All right, so to survive, you gotta know your enemy, right? What exactly are you up against if you find yourself out there in the dark? Let's dive in and break down the Chalava's secrets.
Okay, so the creature's name tells you everything you need to know about its primary weapon. A Chalava literally means deception or a trick. It's an absolute master of illusion. Think of it as the spirit of a traveler who never finished their journey. And now it's going to make sure you don't either.
So, step one in our guide, you have to know its playbook. And here are its favorite moves. First off, it creates these insane, reality-bending time and space loops to trap you. It specifically targets people who are tired and scared, and it feeds on paranoia to get everyone in your group fighting with each other. But its most terrifying move? Possession. It can literally take over a person's body. And just so you know, it's at its absolute strongest on a moonless night, and Amavasya.
So, how do you even know you've been caught? I mean, that's the scary part, right? The signs are super subtle at first. They're designed to make you question your own senses, and maybe even your own sanity.
And check this out. What's so wild is how the Chalava uses the exact same tactic in totally different situations. On the left, you've got a school bus. On the right, a car full of friends. But for both of them, the experience is identical. You pass the same landmark again and again and again. The road doesn't go forward anymore. It just goes in a circle.
Now, this isn't just about getting you lost. The goal here is psychological. It's messing with your head. By making the world repetitive, just totally nonsensical, it cuts you off from reality. It's starting to break you down, getting you ready for the next part of its attack.
And this is where it really gets you. So what do? You're tired, you're confused. This is how the Chalava plants those first seeds of doubt, not just in the road, but in the people you're with. And that's exactly what it wants, paranoia.
So once you're trapped and you're disoriented, that's when the real games begin. The Chalava starts to really play with your mind, creating these elaborate, terrifying illusions, all based on your own thoughts and your conversations.
You know, it's a terrifyingly good listener. So get this. In one story, a teacher just casually mentions his hometown, a place called Borgon. Moments later, a sign for that exact village appears out of the darkness, luring the whole group into a trap. It creates whatever you desire or whatever you fear, a safe place to rest or a scary crowd to make you run.
And these illusions are filled with these just chilling, nightmarish details. The roadside cafe, the dhaba, which should be a symbol of comfort, becomes this house of horrors. The owner serves food with insects crawling on it and says these awful, cryptic things. It's a place that promises safety, but just delivers pure dread.
Okay, this is the Chalava's masterstroke. The true horror isn't some monster outside the car. No, it's inside, sitting right next to you, and it's wearing the face of your friend.
The most dangerous version, the Amavas Chalava, it has a very specific chilling method. First, it finds the weakest, most tired person in the group. Then it isolates them and literally scares them to death. And then it just hijacks their body and slips right back into the group. A perfect imposter, ready to tear everyone apart from the inside.
And you know what? It works. It works perfectly. It uses the group's own panic against them, turning friends against each other. In both of the stories we're looking at, the group immediately blames the wrong person. An innocent nephew, a helpful tribal girl, while the real monster, just hiding in plain sight, is orchestrating all the chaos.
So how do you spot the imposter? It's all in the details. You gotta pay attention. The first monster got exposed because it made one single crucial mistake. Posing as a student named Sham, it claimed his uncle ran a travel agency. But the real nephew in the group knew the truth. Sham's uncle sold street food. Just one tiny lie that unraveled the whole thing.
The second one was caught because of the completely unnatural emotional reaction. While all his friends were in this violent, panicked fight for their lives, the Chalawa, who was pretending to be their friend Adi, was just seen
calmly smirking. A monster can mimic a person's face, but it can't always mimic their humanity.
Okay, so you've done the impossible. You've identified the monster in your group. So now what? What's the final step in the survival guide? Well, the stories show 2 potential ways you can make it through the night.
All right, so you've got 2 choices here. You can play offense or you can play defense. Path 1 is to fight it directly. The stories say its soul isn't fully bonded to the body it's wearing, so if you destroy the vessel, you force the spirit out. Path 2 is to just play defense. Hold on, resist its mind games, and simply survive until dawn. Once the sun comes up, its power just fades away.
And here's where the lore gets really, really interesting. A totally unexpected twist. By defeating the Chalawa, you're not just saving your own skin. You are actually granting mukti, or salvation, to this tormented spirit that's trapped between worlds. Your survival is actually its liberation.
So, after seeing how this thing operates, the maddening loops, the personalized illusions, the devastating way it gets inside your group, ask yourself, honestly, which one of its tricks would work on you? And would you be able to spot the lie before it was too late?